Hi guys, it's Alston. In this video, we are going to take a look into Outranking tool. This is going to be a demonstration and walkthrough video for this tool because I thought first I should mention all the features and functionality which I got to know about it after testing and a personal live demo with the founder. We did it like 2 days ago where he showed me all the features and functionalities of the tool because this is a new tool to me. I wasn't using this tool before because some readers of my community members recommended this tool to me, so I'm checking this out based on that. So in this video I'm going to quickly go over all the features and functionalities of this tool so you can make a decision based on whether this is suitable to you or not. In the next tool video, I'm going to make a comparison sort of video with market news, phrase, neural text and this, and provide the same keyword to this, and just quickly going to show what kind of output you are getting so you can make a decision on data accuracy and relevancy. So I'm basically dividing this video to be making more easy for you to understand. Let me go into the app dashboard. This is the app dashboard. There is not much fancy going around. Basically you have three different core functions. Let me focus on SEO content first, since that is the most probably you're going to be using. You come here and click on new document and you will be having an access to this. Inside that, you can either create a brand new blog post or article, or you can optimize something which are already published. If you click in on it, you will get an extra field called import URL, where you can put your URL and it will grab the text, and based on that you can keep on optimizing it further. In this case, I'm just going to create a new document. And one more thing is that if you click on looking for idea, let's say for example you have a main keyword but you are still not sure whether you want to write for that or a secondary or something else, then you come here, for example, how to do keyword research. One of the guides I'm preparing to do. So if I put into this, now ideally it will go out and show all the related keywords it found for this particular keyword. So if you are not happy with this and if you like something else, then we can go with this. For example, let me in this case pick what is keyword research if I want to write for it, or just let me stay with how to do keyword research. This makes much more sense. And I can target based on location is important for one, to target your target audience. If your audience are coming from a specific geolocation, can be country, state or city, then target those guys. That way what this tool does it, whatever the location you are putting here, it will scrape all the competitor listing which are already ranking based on that location, so it will be more accurate result. For example, I'm in United States. If I put Colombo, my city, and it should bring that also into play. Or if I want to choose a different country, that is also a possibility from here. This status and tag is merely for your internal management of all the article. You can assign status, change status, and you can use tags to categorize it also. In this case, I'm not going to do any of that. You can pretty much skip if you don't want. You can see this is the screen. You can see it's already started collecting to the SERP data. This is the first time running this keyword. That's why collecting the data. Let me quickly talk about the dashboard you are seeing. The founder mentioned it, they are heavily inspired based on Grammarly UI because they found that is most productive to most user, where you will be writing everything on this left side of the screen, where there is no moving around the screen, there is no going back, closing wizard menu or something like that. This is going to be staying static, and all the changes, data, everything you will be seeing on the left side. So that is what they are going for here. These top bar is pretty much a WYSIWYG editor or HTML editor. You can mark it down. This is really good for using the related keywords and stuff. I'll show you guys. And home is basically a navigation for the entire app. You can go to a different stuff, locations from here, different features. Action is where you can export the document to a doc if you want to share it to someone, or share this direct doc in a view or edit capability inside within a email access. You can do that. And finally, import. Let's say for example I have created a scratch one, but now I created a content. Now I want to improve based on that. You can import this and it automatically will do this. The first thing is The optimization SEO score is on real time, which means it will automatically get periodically checked and will show you the optimization SEO score. And also, if you found that it's not updating or if there is any issue, you just press the refresh button and it will automatically refresh all the scores for you. This is the first screen you end up seeing. As soon as then it is zero for me because I am using a root brand new blog post, not something which I have already created. If you have created something and pasting it, you would see some ratings automatically, which makes sense. Basically, this is the overview. Instruction shows SEO content score, readability, sentence, and also they provide a basic notification also, so showing what is important, why this is important. So this is just to get a quick overview guide on what to do. These two are really important for you. First, this is a AI writing strength. This I would suggest you to test it on your niche or in your content industries to see which works best for you. Basically, two different styles. So, do you want fluent or creativity? You just test it out and see. And content format, this is another one where usually most of the blog post you will be writing will be regular, but what pillar does means it usually referred to as skyscraper in backlinks terminology. Basically creating a big content piece with a lot of paragraph, lot of subsections, lot of resources and everything. Basically creating a best link worthy content or best content on that subject area, on that industry. So when you pick pillar, it will take too much efforts in your end to make sure to get a different SEO score. Regular will be a easy to take a score. So if you want to create an in-depth article, make sure to choose pillar, or if it's a regular one, just choose regular. And also typically they will analyze the 20 different 20 URLs which is currently ranking for this particular keyword. How to do keyword research in Google, it will take it. But let's say for example you have found a different article who that guy has done a really great job on optimizing the SEO content fix and the structure content is everything is perfect. I want to make use of that page also, but it's not ranking on top 20. In that case, you can bring that URL and it will take data from that also inside here. So you can anytime can access this screen by clicking on SEO score. It will come back to the screen. The second step is instruction. This is more for beginner friendly. For example, they have tried to make this tool into a logical format where you consist of optimizing meta title, meta description initially, then you move on to the H1 or the heading section, or then you create sections which is means outline or just sections within the article, and you optimize each sections with related keywords, contact keywords idea, and you verify selection keyword, this is what related keywords and all those stuff. And finally you add questions as a fake or subsection, usually good to educate your audience and also getting ranked on featured snippet or people also or sections. And finally creating a URL. I won't be going in this instruction way because it's a bit tedious if you already know what you're going to be explaining all these things. Basically you can go with the instruction. They give your instruction what are the things you need to do, how you need to use, and it will link to one of these tools. In this case, for a better ease of explaining, I'm just going to be going one by one inside this section. Title is the first one where you are going to be optimizing meta title. Usually this tool, what it does, it shows the top 20 titles which it got from its research, and based on that you can either copy paste and rewrite it, or without even copy paste just try to do something from here. For example, I place where I want to do it. For example, if I like this guide, I just paste it here. Now it automatically will insert that into this meta title for you. So you can do that, but it also provides one more feature where I'm not a big fan of this feature, but it does provide a rewrite option within here itself. For example, I like this title, but I want to rewrite it. But when I soon as press refresh, there is no control over it. It's going to be just giving me one variation. I can't protect keywords or just choose whichever version I want. For example, it changed a bit, but what I didn't like is there is no undo option from here. Let's say, for example, I do this and I didn't like it, but there is no undo option here. That's why I don't really use this or won't use this in future. But if I want to see a rewrite option, I would probably do something like this. I highlight this and press rewrite here. In this case, what it's going to do is it's going to do the exact same thing which this does, but I have a control Z, the control undo, the regular one. If I do that, I can go back. So that is how I'm going to use the auto rewrite function. I'm not going to use this. So you can copy it or optimize based on that or rewrite it from here. What does HF keywords means is high frequency word. What does that means is these are the words which are mostly used inside this particular meta title. So it takes the compilation data from all the titles, meta titles, and show these are the most used word. Ideally, if you are optimizing for SEO, make sure to include as much as word possible what these guys are doing, but don't do keyword stuffing. That is a bad SEO practice. Make it sensible, make it readable, and make it try to include this keyword. So obviously, for example, I could include some way to say the keywords. And also, if you notice, as soon as I started putting some content, you can see the SEO score already started improving. So that way it will keep on updating. I also can click on refresh anytime and you can see a bar. That means it automatically refreshed further again. And also you can see this check mark. For example, these are updated in real time. So as soon as you use a word here, it will automatically say you have used this word. For example, I haven't used keywords. That's why it's not showing me keywords. So if I use keywords, it should automatically update that also into this section. So that is the meta title. Meta description is same thing as meta title, but in this time it is bringing me all the meta description which is automatically ranking for this. I can pick one of here, or I can rewrite based on that, or I can use these as inspiration and write my own meta description as possible. Similar with that, HF was also presented here. Let me refresh it here so I can make sure the data is valid. We see the top used words for it. These are also same instruction as WordPress meta title. If I go into the heading, that is also a same features similar to that. That was meta title, meta description. Now it's H1 title, because that is the important SEO factor for on page to show what your article or blog post is about. So it carries weight. So it shows the heading tags which is currently used. Similar with HFW, it's showing the HF keywords also here. So these three are pretty same feature, but just for different elements. If I go to the section, this is where I now start to create a outline or sections like with H2, H3s for my article. What it does, it first, it will create a compilation of all the H1, H2s, H3s, H4, all this stuff, and give me an option to, I can tick whichever the ones I want. For example, I like this section. If I say how to start a keyword research, I do like this. I can tick any of these things I want. For example, let me do this. And once I clicked on it, I can expand and see what are the other subheadings also available within that is possible. And I can add outline to the editor. Now it will create an outline based on that. So I can properly tag into that. There is a one suggestion I asked, still it's not included. If I want to include only this H3, I wanted to have an option, but currently it's not working like that. So hopefully they will add that feature for me. Otherwise, I just need to copy and paste it, which is a bit hassle for me. So that is how the compilation section works. If you go into the sections from SERP is where this showed all the compilation from all the different sources in one screen. Now it's going by result by result. For example, it shows that most as this is the outline. For example, the second result as this as its outline. So I can see from a site specific on individual based, and from here I can copy, I can paste it. For example, if I like this, I can do that. You can see automatically picked up and do that. So it's really good. For example, this is really alternative for me. If I only want this H3, I just click on here, I automatically get that. So unclick like that, I can go up to the 20 results page for this. HFS keywords also similar, where it automatically brings all the keywords mostly used. This is really good to have a topic relevancy or natural language processing algorithm looks for this stuff, and also it's really good for making sure that you optimize your content towards the most used words on industry, good for related keywords also. So that is what the section does, and also you can filter it by whatever the titles you want. There is some filtration options also available. The next section is questions. This is a section where it gives you an option to find all the questions related to it. First, questions from content. This means these are the questions what other 20 ranking website URLs currently using within their content itself, and if there is a search following for that, it will show you. In this case, you can either make it as a subsection or as a question infrequently. It depends on your use case, but I would suggest as a subsection or and also frequently asked question whenever it makes sense. So based on that, you can choose whatever the question you want, and also you can see the questions are very relevant to me. For example, I took how to do a keyword research, and you can see the questions are very relevant for me because these are the questions which competitors are answering. So that makes sense, and I can just click on next to keep on scrolling through all the different question. I'm not sure how much question it generated, but you can see there is well over 100 different questions are there. So you choose based on that, but this is just one data source. But we do have another option called people also ask, where in this case it shows all the questions directly from SERP pages, Google SERP pages. If you type any informational or question keyword, you typically will see a people also ask snippet. This is what it's bringing to that. But usually you will see 1 to 4 different questions. When you click on load more, you will start seeing all the different other questions also. In this case, what it does, it will bring all those questions also into play, so you can get an idea immediately and start doing research for that. So this is what people also ask section. This is directly coming from Google, not your competitor sites. URL, no explanation needed. This just show what are the most used words on the URL. For example, if I want to create a sub page inside my website, based on this I would create like keyword research or keyword research guide. It does not matter that much, but you can easily do this. But it gives you the counting option also based on the top 20 results for that. Related keyword is where it will show all the related keywords it found for this particular keyword which I entered. So you can see it shows the search and keyword. There is no competitor scores we are getting to it. You can see this, and also you can see whenever a particular keyword which I've already used, it will automatically say I have used this keyword. And do remember that keyword, related keyword, if let's say for example you add this keyword inside just as a text and press refresh, then it won't update here, because what from founder's perspective was these keywords need to be highlighted in some way, whether it's in H2 heading, H3 heading, H4 headings, or it has been bold or italic or something like that. Then only it will consider as a related keyword. I requested a suggestion for it. I'll show you guys in a later stage in this video when I talk about the content depth functionality. And you also have the option to browse through the list. You can filter it. For example, I only want two related keywords. I can search for it. I can add a keyword. For example, I can add another related keyword. For example, finding keywords, something like that, for Google, let's see. And if I click that save, it will now use this keyword plus all the related keywords it can find for this particular term. So we can do that and add more keywords into this mix. And also if we have, this is one of my favorite feature, where let's say for example I don't want to use this tool for my keyword research. I have my personal favorite dedicated keyword research SEO tool or anything like that. I can do the keyword research there and bring the list as a new line text or a comma separated one, and I can paste this and I can see all the data within here itself. But it's bit still restrictive since we can't highlight these things unless it's optimized in a HTML formatting. I'll show you the solution now. So this is what related keywords does. And also there is a one cool factor. For example, if you are in related keywords and you highlight something, and it automatically replaces that fact word into this search bar, and it will automatically show it. For example, I'm writing something and I don't want to use let's say for example just keyword research, but I want to see how I can make it much more related or something like that, and I put select this, and automatically it shows all these things. So if I, okay, for example, rather than good keywords, let's say what are the options available, it shows this. So it can either help you to find related keywords or make your content more sensible. For example, rather than saying understanding the three main factors for choosing good keywords, I can say uh, three main factors for choosing good keywords for adverts whenever it makes sense. So based on that, you can do much more research on that. Research section is where it will just scrape the entire content which the competitors are having on their web page, and it will show you the backlink data and everything. Hopefully it take a load so I can show you guys. Let's see whether it works or not. Let me, I'm not sure what's happening. Let me refresh it and see. Let me go into the research. It could be an issue with the keyword itself also, because out what is a keyword research is a such a informational oriented keyword. All the ranking pages will be really big. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, it came up with the results. Hopefully this bar is, let me finish this and see. Okay, I think I encountered a bug on this. So let me see, if I do the refresh, it goes away, or else I will do a bug report. And if they fixed, I will try to create a separate video for only that functionalities and see. Let's see one more time. Let me give it a try. If not, I will skip this and report the bug for the use founder. Let me do this again. uh, I don't think it's going to be working. I think still there is a bug on it. So probably I think I will skip this. Let me open it in a new tab. So if it works, let's see. If not, I will, it's showing, but as soon as this happens, there is an internal error, I think. I'm not going to cover. Basically it will show you the data, and when you open it you will see all the content which is coming from this page, and you can also search through it. So if you want to find data inside that without opening a new URL, you can see what is the content which is presented here. So that is what it should do. I'm not sure why this error is popping up. Let's see. Let me close out of this. I'll try to do a separate one for this, and I will report this bug submission and will keep you guys updated. And also you can try test it out on your own. For example, you can try to enter the exact keyword here, how to do keyword research, and see whether the data is coming from you or not on your end. Content depth is same, where unless unlike related keywords where it shows the logical related secondary keywords, content depth just shows all the different piece of text which is mostly used in that particular tool. And you can see the, even though research process does not make sense or does not have a logical sense of how to do keyword research, it does show that this word is used a lot. So I will try to make use of this word. For example, if I type like is a is best for research process, something like that, I try, and if I try to refresh this, it should now put a check mark here also. This is where I suggested him to add our own set of words where we import it here as a text or comma. This is my requested feature, and when we put and when we write that word, it should automatically make a mark. So I just requested a import for this particular feature. So that is how content depth also work. It's not just for keyword but just for words also. So now let me go into the second feature and third features quickly. The video is going too long. Let me click this one more time until this loads. If I come back and see whether that works. SERP analysis, this is a like a holy grail for data guy if you oriented. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You can choose you want 10 results or 20 or 30. This means how many competitor data you want to analyze. You can choose, and also you can choose different device preference because Google does change their SERP ranking for desktop and mobile, so you can choose based on that. Here you type whatever the you want. For example, how to find low competition keywords. I'm just taking something out of my mind immediately and press submit. Now what it will do is it will go out and scrape 30 different sites and try to bring all sort of crazy results from them. It probably going to take bit time because it's doing all this work, but I'm going to show it in a real time so you know and you can understand what are the time constraint for collecting such data, so you can get an idea based on that. Let me quickly go back and see, okay, this is not going to be happening, so I'm not going to do anything on that. Let me close out of this, and you can see the 30 results. So it went out to all these 30 different pages, ranking pages, and collected all different database. For example, overview shows total number of length on the top 30 results, like what is the average, what is the maximum, what is the minimum, what is the number of images being used on this by top 20, meta title length, what is the minimum, what is the maximum, meta description, and does it have a feature snippet, does it have a questions people ask also section, uh, how many pages are missing meta description, missing meta titles, all these things. And also you can directly see the SERP result also. These are getting shows the total length for each one, how many backlinks they do have in this case, what is the do follow, what is the no follow, and grade according to the outranking formula, the SEO score. It will show all this data here. For example, if I scroll down, I should see the 30 results, and it also showing you how many external site links are there. For example, what are the external links these guys are linking to, and related keywords also showing here. Let me go into different tabs. For example, if I go into metadata and URL, it should show all the results regarding meta data URL. For example, it shows all the meta titles. It shows whether the exact keyword is match or is it just a partial, what are the highly frequent keywords. You can just scroll and see meta description is same thing, it shows all the meta, what are the highly used frequency keyword, and also partial or exact keywords. If I go down, let's say for example it shows 10 meta property, it's like OG description, like structured data. It shows all those data description, and as well these are the description mostly used in social media. When you share in a social media, these text and title will be used for that. If I go down, it will show you the in the URL. I can go from here, I can go into the different URL, it show whether exact keyword is used within the URL or not. So these data is also shown here. So let me now go back to the next tab. This is why I told you this is like a database, mini database you are getting for the search. This is ideally good if you are like to do. You can export all this into an Excel document. All the data will be in the Excel spreadsheet. You can probably give it to a SEO person or writer to use this as a research if they want, or if you want to put it into a different system or application, that is also possible. You can see H1 tags, it shows all the H1 title, exact keywords, just the same stuff. H2, all the H2 titles. If I go down, I shouldn't have used 30 different results, I should have stick with 10. H3, it shows all the H3 keywords. It go down, I think it goes up to H6 or something like that. Yeah, H4 to H6, so it gives all the H6. If I go into keyword data, now it shows all the mostly used keywords in a quick overview glance. For example, I can immediately see meta title, these are the keywords which is getting used. Meta description, these are the most keywords getting used. H2, these are the most keywords. So with this also I can easily plan out my content and structure it and make sure that I use these keywords also to make sure that it's relevant. For example, it takes page URL, ordered list, unordered list, all text for images, anchor text, if there's any tables, that also will take content. Within the content you can see what are the most number of this is like a database guys tree. So we get all these things. These are high frequent. If I go into relevant keyword, it will show all the relevant keywords with the data it provided, and it also shows how many times it was used on different sections, so we can get an idea. For example, if I put something like content, let me sort it by highest to lowest, and you can see this is a keyword which is being used most of the time by most inside the content. So we can get an idea from that, and there are so much other filters also there, and some keyword for content, like what are the other relevant words or phrases it found for the content. If I go into the question, it will show you the question, but you don't want to use the questions here. There is a separate tab for it. I'll show you there. Other tags, just bit more information on that. And the crazy thing is, if you click on download, you will get all the data from here in Excel spreadsheet. Let me see whether I can open it and show. And let me do this, and also you can see the external links, internal links, images, unordered list, ordered list, all these images also available here. So that is how the SERP analysis work. Let me open up this, and let me open this and see. And question is, I'm going to do how to do keyword research. And if this feature is specifically for if you want to find a lot of questions related to your one. And let me bring this here. This is the report which I extracted, downloaded from this query. You can see all the data are available on different sections. For example, you can see important keyword, related keyword, page URL, external site link, internal meta title, meta description, meta property, and just keeps on going. I'm sure I can go beyond. There is 53 different sheets, guys. I'm on sheet 16, so there are a lot more in there. You can see it's just like a database, a mini database we got, so that we can import all these things. And questions, as I told you, it brings off. I just inserted one keyword, and you can see it brought almost 560 different questions. And also we can see from where did it this got the question from, whether it's a related keyword, like it found it on keyword research, or did it found it on content itself. It shows those data here. If I go down, probably I will see from people also ask. Okay, I think it's not showing, but if there's any question from people also ask, that will be showing below the Google. So that is all the features and functionality. I showed everything. I only missed out on the content depth part. It was a bug. I will report it. Hopefully this helps you to understand all the features and functionality, and in the next video I will try to cover the comparison. Once again, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.